Welcome to Decode Tech, and this is Wedding Manager. This is a wedding planning program that I made with the Python programming language with a library called tkinter and SQLite database, and this is for helping you put all your people you invite and easily finding who all has jobs at the wedding, and also assigning things like your order of service and your ceremony instructions and various other things like that. It also helps keep track of your budget, so to see if you can stay on track. While trying to learn programming, I did many tutorials on basic just little programs to write, and they really didn't get me very far. But when I finally got a project that I was interested in, which was getting married, and so a wedding planner really made sense for me, then I really started to Google and find out things and really make something that works. Now, when I show you the code, you're probably going to cringe a little bit if you have any prior programming experience, because it's not very good code, but I learned a lot and I would change a lot of things if I would do it over again. And one of the neatest things about this is I actually got to use it to plan my own wedding. So I'm going to give you a little bit of a demo of how it works, and then I'll just give you a quick glance at some of the code and give you an idea of how much programming actually can go into something that may seem fairly simple on the outside. So here, let's add a person. And so to do that, we're just going to click add, and he'll appear here in the list of people. And then you have multiple other tabs you can click through. Here's the family tab, and you'll see we have one person, Ben Willis, in it. And if you go back here, you'll find Ben Willis, and you can either double click or press enter on him, and it'll bring up his information. And here we can see that we put his family to Willis, but we could have put it to many other things. And it's pulling that from the couple's info and who their parents were and what their last names are. There's also a to-do tab to help you keep track of things that need done. And the same way with the people, you can double click and bring up an editing window for that. All the adding gets done with these three buttons in the top left corner, and all the editing gets done by double clicking on the entries. If you get a list of people that's too long to scroll through, you can come up here to the search and just start searching for somebody. If you know their name is John, you can just start typing JOH, hit enter, and that'll bring up names that are like John. And here we see John Doe. You can just double click and it'll bring up his editing info. Here we have the order of service tab. It'll automatically populate the people that have jobs, and the order of the jobs should be listed on a wedding program. There are many features I started and didn't quite get done in time for the wedding, but I would like to eventually add in the future. And one of them is to be able to pick the order that the jobs come in this tab. Ceremony, reception, and songs are just text fields that you can write various texts, and it'll save when you exit out the program. And up here we find a budget button, and this will say how much you want to spend on the wedding. So if you put $3,000 and submit it, you'll see that our total cost down here is green because we're within our budget. But if I then adjusted it down to $2,000, it'll now turn red because we are over budget. Down here in the bottom bar in the middle, I have invited, coming, and not coming. So we go back to the People's tab, you'll see that we have different statuses of people invited or coming. So if we double click on one and change their status to coming and hit update, or sorry, let's do not coming rather, and hit update, it'll turn them to red. And now these headings, you can also sort by these by double clicking. So if we click on this, it'll arrange by invited or coming or not coming. If you click on first name, it'll sort by first name. Last name, do last names, and you can do that for all the headings, and that works the same for the family tab. If you want to see all the families, you can sort by family, and also the jobs tab is the same way, and the to-dos, and here's the items tab I didn't talk about yet. This is things that you might be buying for the wedding, and as you put them in, it calculates the total cost. So we have 100 flowers we're buying at $25.67 a piece, and it adds up the total cost down here in the bottom left. One of the main parts I didn't get done that I wish I would have is the tables tab. This is supposed to be so you put in the number of tables you're going to have and the number of people per table, and then assigning a person to the table, you can just go into them and it'll have a table number that you can pick from, and it'll put them at that table. But unfortunately, I did not get that done. And up here is delete buttons. I did get them to work for deleting one item at a time, but I wanted it to work for multiple people, and I didn't get that figured out. And so right now, they aren't hooked up to do anything at this point. So here's a glance at the code. As you can see, it is lots and lots and lots of code all in one file, which I now know is a very, very poor design idea. I can expand some of these here to show you all the lines, but I didn't realize it was that bad of an idea, and now when I have problems, it's pretty hard to find them. But if we scroll all the way down to the bottom, you'll see in total it's about 2,600 some lines of code. And so what can look like a simple program can actually be pretty complex. So if you're interested in learning how to build something like this, I'm planning to have an Introduction to Programming series coming very soon. So stay tuned for that. And also, if you thought this was pretty neat, please give the video a thumbs up. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comment section down below, and we'll see you in the next video.